Hey guys, thanks for being here. Today we have a nice short class that is going to help you stretch out your lower back and relieve any back pain. So today I'm using 2 blocks and a strap. If you don't have blocks, don't worry. You can always substitute it with shoe boxes or equal-sized books and maybe even firm pillows. If you don't have a strap, then just go to your closet, grab any fashion belt that you have, and you can use that as a yoga strap. Also, jump ropes work really good for yoga straps. I am going to be modifying for pregnancy, so I'm not going to be able to do everything that we're doing during class, but I'm going to do my best to walk you through it and even demo for you if possible. So we're going to start flat on our backs with our knees to our chest. So let's come down to our mat, bring the knees to your chest. I'll show you, and then I'm going to sit up. Hug the knees in. You want to avoid crossing the feet, so legs parallel to each other. Take 2 deep breaths here. If you can reach opposite fingertips and clasp the hands, or maybe grab opposite forearms or wrists, feel free. One more deep breath. Keep the shoulders down, the back of the head down, but the chin comes to the chest. Great job. Okay, grab your kneecaps with your hands, and we're going to start to swim the legs away from each other. We'll do this for a few breaths. Just breathe deeply. Last full deep breath. And now we'll change directions. The knees are coming towards each other and out and around. 2 more breaths. We'll stop at the center. Hug the knees again and rock side to side, giving our lower back a little massage. Plant the feet so the knees are bending straight up. We're going to walk the feet out wide as our mat. I'm going to do this in a seated position, but you can remain lying down. Now bring the knees towards each other and just rest here for a few breaths. We're going to start windshield wipers. Let the knees fall to the right, shifting on the edges of the feet, and look towards your left. This might feel a little intense on the hips. No big deal. Your hips will loosen up as we move through the class. Inhale the knees up through the center and over to the other side. Let the knees fall to the left and look towards the right. One more time to each side. Inhale the knees up through the center. Exhale over to the right. Look towards the left. Inhale the legs up through the center. Knees fall to the left and look to the right. Last one. Inhale the legs up through the center. Tuck the knees into the chest again. This time grab behind the knees and rock forward and back into a seated position. Legs comfortably crossed in front of the body. If this feels a little intense on the knees, feel free to bring the bottoms of the feet together or sit on a block. If your knees are up high, no big deal. It's totally fine. We're going to do seated cat and cow pose. Inhale, arch the back, shoulders away from the ears, look up, tilt the tailbone back. Exhale, round the spine, pull the belly in, sitting bones point down, chin to chest. Relax the hands on your legs or the knees. Again, inhale, arch, shoulders away from the ears, heart up, chin up, sitting bones back. Exhale, round. Pull the belly in, chin towards the chest, look towards the belly button. One more time. Inhale, arch, lift the chest, shoulders away from the ears, look up. Exhale, round. Pull the belly in, sitting bones down, chin to chest. Come into a regular seated position. We're going to move into a tabletop position on our hands and knees. Any way you want to get there. You can swoosh the legs off to the side or roll over the knees. Here you want to have your wrists under the shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll take classic cat and cow pose. Inhale, arch, tilt the tailbone up, shoulders away from the ears, let the belly fall low. Exhale, round, push the mat away, sitting bones point down, back of the heart up. Inhale, arch, also focus on moving the pelvis. Exhale, round, sitting bones point to your knees, belly button in, look towards the belly button. Inhale, arch, move the pelvis, exhale, round. Last one. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Come into a neutral tabletop position, which means crown of the head in line with the tailbone. We're going to start to wag the hips from side to side. Little nice movements, easy movements. You can keep doing this, or you can add a shoulder shrug. Really stretching the side bodies, bringing one shoulder towards the center and then the other. 2 more breaths. Deep inhales, full, complete exhales. We'll stop at the center for a foot and toe stretch. Tuck the toes, push the weight back onto the feet for 3. If you can take a little bit more, walk the hands closer to the knees and sit up on the heels. Adjust the pinky toes to come down so you can get a really good stretch in the feet and in the arch for 2. 1. Back onto your hands and knees for gecko pose. We're going to start with the left foot because it's closest to the camera. So let's bring the left foot forward on the outside of the hand. Foot in line with the hands. Then let the hips come forward and down. If you have blocks, you're welcome to use blocks under your hands. The blocks have 3 levels. 1, 2, 3. So don't be shy. Use any level of blocks that you need. Here you want to bring the hips closer to the mat. Shoulders away from the ears, chest forward. Your sitting bones point to your back heel. We'll take 3 more deep breaths. Something else that you want to focus on is knee into the shoulder. For 2. We're coming into a half splits. So straighten your front leg, and you can bring it towards the center of the mat, framing your front leg with your hands. This is a great place to use blocks. You can also bring the fingertips down. Reach the heart forward towards the toes, and then the chest down to the leg. Keep your right hip over the right knee for 3. 2, you can also play with pointing the toe or flexing the foot. Last breath. Back into your tabletop position. We're going to take it to the other side. Right foot to the outside of the right hand. Now bring the hips forward and down. Your hands are in line with your front foot, with your right foot. Hips down, heart forward, shoulders down for 3. Hug right knee into right shoulder for 2. Moving into a half split. Straighten your front leg, move the foot towards the center of the mat. You can even grab and move. Frame your front leg with your hands. Inhale, lift the chest, heart forward. Exhale, forward hinge, hinging from the hips. So avoid rounding from the waist, hinge from the hips. Flex your front foot for 3. You can also play with pointing and then flexing for 2. Left hip over the left knee. Last breath. Back into your tabletop position. We're going to move into downward facing dog. So to do downward facing dog, all you're going to do is tuck the toes, lift the knees and the hips, and push the mat away. You can keep the heels high and the knees bent. If you're a little more familiar with downward facing dog, or if you're feeling a little more flexible, then start to draw the heels down and straighten the legs, contract the thighs. If you're new to downward dog, then just keep the heels up and the knees bent. It can feel really nice. Ears in between the biceps, hands flat, very important. Push into the L's of the hands. We'll be here for 3. Pull the belly in and squeeze the ribs together like you're doing a crunch. This will help you sustain the pose for 2. Let's walk the feet and the hands closer together. So we're just going to kind of meet in the middle. Grab opposite elbows, feet hip distance apart, and now swing side to side. This is ragdoll pose. What you want to do here is swing from the hips and not just move from the shoulders. Like moving the arms from the shoulders, that's not what you want to do. You want to swing from the hips side to side for 3. 2. 1. Back into your downward dog. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back, heels up, knees bent. Again, if you're a little more flexible, heels down, legs straight. Drop the knees and come down to your bellies, or you can inhale forward to plank and lie flat on your belly. We're going to do a couple little back bends to help relieve some of the tension in our back. I'm not going to do these because I can't put pressure on my belly, but you lie flat on your belly. Sphinx pose. Tops of the feet down. Feet can be slightly apart. We're going to bring the elbows under the shoulders like this. Forming 90 degrees, arms are parallel to each other. You're lying flat on the belly. Inhale, lift the chest, creating maximum space between you and your mat. Roll the shoulders down and back and push the tops of the feet into the mat so you firm up your whole leg. Pull the belly in and we'll breathe here for 3. 2. 1. Lower down. Take a little break. You can bring your arms by your side. We're going to do one more variation of this. And we're going to add a little leg lift. So the legs are going to do this. You're going to bring one knee up, the left knee up first. Then forearms down. Elbows under the shoulders. My belly is not on the mat here, so it works really well for me. Inhale, lift the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Find your setup, and we'll breathe here for 3. 2. 1. Slide your left leg back, and we'll bring the right one forward, right knee up. Elbows under the shoulders, lift the chest, top of the left foot down, breathe, roll the shoulders down and back. This is like half frog pose, half sphinx pose for 3. 2. 1. Moving into child's pose. Bring the right leg back, lift up, sit on the heels. Your knees can be together or they can be apart. I'm going to have my legs apart to let my belly fall through or in between my legs. Child's pose. When your knees are apart, this is referred to as wisdom pose. Every time you inhale, notice how your back expands. Every time you exhale, notice how you settle into the pose a little bit more. 2 more breaths. Reach the arms forward, sit the hips back. And if you can lift the elbows off of the mat, that's great. 1 more breath. Start to roll up bit by bit. Plop the hips over to the right and extend the legs out in front of you for Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana is done with the legs together and you're hinging at the hips, folding over the legs. I'm going to keep my legs apart to create space for my belly. This is a great time to use your belt because we either want to hook the big toes, grab the outer edges of the feet, or you want to bring the strap around the balls or arches of the feet. Cool. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. This is kind of like the half splits pose that we did. Reach the heart towards the toes, then the chest towards the legs. We'll be here for 3 breaths. Things that you want to remember in Paschimottanasana: keep the feet flexed and the ball of the big toes forward. So you don't want the feet to come in like this. You want to push the balls of the big toes forward. Shoulders down, heart forward, tailbone and sitting bones back, crown of the head forward for 3. 2. 1. Inhale, come up, bend the knees, grab behind them, and we're coming back into a reclined position. So flat on your back, we're going to close up with a few reclined twists. Okay, you have 2 options. If you're a little more flexible, tee out your arms, cross right leg over the left, and let the knees fall to the left as you look to the right. If you're not feeling that, the knees together, let the knees fall to the left and look to the right. I'm going to skip out on these. Two more breaths. Pull the lower belly in, lift the legs up through the center. If you had the right leg crossed over the left, then switch. And when you're ready, everyone, knees to the right, look towards the left. One more breath. Pull the lower belly in, lift the legs up through the center. If you had your legs crossed, uncross them. And one more time, we're going to bring or hug the knees into the chest and hug them up nice and tight. For now, let's keep the shoulders and the back of the head onto the mat for 2 breaths. Now lift the shoulders up, forehead towards the knee. Hug the knees in nice and tight. Take a big inhale. Exhale, release out into Shavasana, which is our last pose, lying flat on your back. We'll take 10 breaths in Shavasana. Arms by your side, legs extended. Let the feet splay out naturally and become completely relaxed. For the next 10 breaths, focus on your inhales. Notice how your chest rises as you breathe in. And then exhale. Settle into your Shavasana a little bit more, relaxing deeper and deeper as you exhale. For For the last 5 breaths, visualize yourself relaxing all the way from the head to the toes. Release any tension or pressure that you can be holding onto, and release anything that doesn't serve you in this moment. Last 2 breaths. We'll start to wiggle around, moving our fingers and our toes. We'll come into a fetal position on any side. So roll over to any side, rest on your bottom arm, knees bending towards the chest gently. Use this moment to tell yourself something kind. And when you're ready, push into a seated position facing forward. Legs gently crossed in front of your body. We'll bring our hands together at heart center. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bow forward. And we'll end our class with Namaste. Thanks for joining me in this video. We'll have a few other short videos coming your way. If you have any suggestions on things that you want to stretch or work out, please let us know. We're always happy to include those in future videos. Thanks, guys.